So this is the bullet with a hole in the bottom, and this is actually the base plug. So this would have gone in this hole like that. Hey guys, we're on the river again today, and we're going to do a little metal detecting and exploring. This is an area that I've been to before, and I've done really well over the years. I haven't been here in a while, so I thought we'd just kind of check it out again today. The water looks really clear today, so I'm pretty excited about this. So I'm working my way upstream, trying to stay out of the silt clouds that I'm raising as I'm walking along. You see them all right here. So we've got a little bit of a current here, so it's not too bad. This is my first target that I've dug today. Sounded good. What it is a modern Lincoln penny, just a modern US penny. So that's my first target, not the best one. I just dug another coin just a few feet away from where I found the penny. I suspect that's going to be a modern quarter. I have not cleaned it off yet. Ready? Yep, that's what it is. You can't quite read the date, but you can tell that it's a clad quarter because of the color. I think it's a 94. So somebody was probably swimming here or something, some kids or something back in the day, or maybe they fell out of a boat, I'm not sure. Well, here's our first promising signal. This is a homemade sinker. It's a piece of lead that someone punched a hole in to use as a fishing weight, and see it's actually got some string on it. Hopefully this is a portent of better things to come. This is definitely older, well, probably older than the coins we just found. Had a nice big iron signal down here, so I just kind of reached down and there you go. Somebody's old chair. I'm not going to try. Oh, look at that. Big old crawdaddy on there. Looks delicious, doesn't he? I'll put him back. A pretty good little squeaker right here. So hopefully it's going to be a bullet or something like that. We're in the Civil War area, so it's possible. Or a sinker. And unfortunately, I can't put you under, obviously. It's really thick clay, and there's a crack down here I can feel running my fingers along. Oh, so I can't really use my pinpoint, the tip of my pinpointer, finding that crack. So I've been working on that for a while, and I finally got it to move, but it was down really deep, so I've got my fingers crossed it's going to be something at least old, and we're going to take it out of the water together. Hold your breath and wish it's something good. If I can find it again. All right, should be here. Okay, we got it. Get out of there, you. See it? Oh. Here. Oh, it's a bullet. Awesome. All right, what we have here is a fired Civil War bullet. This is actually a Williams cleaner. It's got the base plug, this little base plug there that's missing. You can see it's been fired. But yeah, 100% we are on the board for something Civil War and something older than me. So this is kind of cool. I'm about, I don't know, 3 feet away from where I found that, that bullet. Found it right there. And this is it. I see fired Williams cleaner. I told you there's a base plug missing. Well, guess what I just found right there? I found the base plug. So this is the bullet with a hole in the bottom, and this is actually the base plug. So this would have gone in this hole like that, and right in between the two there would have been a zinc disc that when you fired the rifle, this plug would slide up into that hole all the way like that, and the little zinc disc that was between the two would flatten out and kind of get slightly bigger than the diameter of the bullet. And when that zinc disc did that, it would the theory was it would actually clean out the rifling, get rid of some of the gunk and the buildup that's inside the barrel. I think kind of cool that we found that disc. Can't say that's from this bullet, but it could be. Pretty cool, huh? Got 2 relics from the Civil War that make 1. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, I want to show you this too. This is the kind of stuff I've been finding mostly. Just lids. I've had a lot of cans, and I don't know what that lid is. Probably the base. It's actually probably the base to something. I had to take it out of the bag because I had to put the bullet in there, and I had to dig around to find it. But we'll put that back in there. All right. The pressure's off. A little signal under these rocks. I went ahead and dug it, and it's a little piece of coke or coal, like burned coal or something, I think. Gave a pretty good, light squeak, but I wanted to show you. It's raining. again. It seems like every day I go out, no, it rains on me. Since I don't hear any thunder though, we'll keep going. But if it starts to rumble, Jack, we're off the river. Hasn't rumbled yet though. So I'm getting kind of a little light squeaker right in here. And you can see there's like a little dimple in the rock, so probably caught in that crack. Let's go ahead and just fan this together. Wasn't the best of signals, but yeah, see that cracker is probably down in that crack. And I can't get my finger between there, so what I'm going to do is just put you under, let you look at it, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I'd rather find something better than a split shot. You ready? I'll point it out to you. So that's exactly what it was, a little tiny split shot. When I fanned it, it came out from the crack again. I went ahead and picked it up. That's, I mean, that could, I guess it's a modern split shot. Basically what you do is you lay your fishing line in there and you close it up either with your teeth, which I wouldn't recommend with these, or a little pair of pliers. And that becomes a fishing weight. I got a really high squeaker here. Unfortunately, the muck is falling west, so I'm going to have to dig it without you, but I'm very hopeful on this one. I'll get you back out as soon as I get it out of the water or get it moved. All right, it's in my hand. You're never going to believe what it is. Ha! That's a padlock. That's broken. I have found so many of these recently. Very common find along the rivers. I don't know, like I've said before, it could be because people back in the day probably kept a lot more boats down here than they do now, chained up. And I just find that so many of these padlocks. Unfortunately, that's not a particularly old one, but we'll put it in the old collection of busted up padlocks. So this is kind of a weird little thing. I'm back in the backwater again, so no underwater action, but this coppery, brassy thing, really lightweight. Got two little things sticking up there, so I have no idea how old it is. Probably not terribly, but it sounded good. Got another little homemade sinker. I always like to look at the base because if it has a hollow, if it kind of goes up, a lot of times they're made out of Civil War bullets. I don't really see that on this one. It's still raining on and off a little bit. Sky's pretty dark. I can't believe the leaves on the river now. I mean, this is like midsummer. It's starting to look like fall already. It gives me a sad. Just found this big old piece of cooking kettle. Yeah, so that's probably pretty old. I can't say for sure how old. This was like laid on the surface, so I think someone probably dug this up before, but that's pretty awesome right there. That's a good sign. I say that a lot, don't I? So I've been hunting along now for about an hour. I really haven't come up with much. Just some modern sinkers and that one fired modern bullet, just mostly just junk, but I just dug what appears to be a fired round ball, a little musket ball. So yeah, so we're not doing real great. I almost gave up and called it a day, but we'll go a little bit further. So here's a nice chunk of brass right here. That looks like the end of a fire hose, I do believe. Yeah, boy, I tell you, I wish I'd brought my backpack. I'd carry it out of here, but I can't, there's no way I can put it in that little bag right there, and I'm way too far from the truck carry that out today. If I come back with my boat or my backpack, I'll definitely carry this out, but I won't today. I'll put it back. Maybe somebody else will find it and be really happy they got 4 pounds of good recyclable brass. So I'm still moving along, just really not coming up with a whole lot. Got a couple things I'll show you though. I just dug this and it appears to be a lid to something, and I think it's going to be, yeah, so that's copper or brass. Copper or brass. You can see how shiny it is. That might be like a little oil can or something, I'm not sure. I also found a modern sinker. I actually found quite a few of those, and I just dug another homemade sinker. I think if the sun was out and it felt more like summer, I'd be a little bit more joyful. But we'll get on a bullet or two and I'll get joyful soon enough. A really nice little high squeaker there, but a little bit nervous because you can see there's some modern trash in here too. But I'm going to get you out just in case on this one. Just a little spot right there. You can hear more stuff up in there too, but that's really breaking up. But there's just a little tiny squeaker right there. I'll go ahead and fan it first. Now this could be very well what I was hearing. I know that our target was small. It sounded like it was a better metal than this, but that's a 22 caliber bullet. And I figured that's what it was. Yeah, here's a kind of a modern brick. Double check it. Oh, that's probably all it was. But yeah, but there's something up in here. I mean, it's really big and probably junky. I might just be able to reach in there. Oh, there it is. Grab it. So this is kind of an odd little find. Looks almost like the bottom to like a, you know, a beer can or something, but it's actually copper. A bracelet or something? I don't know. Kind of strange, isn't it? What do you think? Won't go on my wrist, but it kind of looks like that almost. Huh. So this is kind of an interesting find. I think you'll like it. I do. So basically what we have here is like a homemade sinker, right? Remember I told you how if you look in the base, if it's a cavity, a lot of times that'll be evidence that it might be a Civil War bullet. So it's got a cavity in there. So next thing we do is we look for evidence of grooves going around it, like a 3-ring mini ball. And see here, I actually thought I saw some grooves, but I'm not seeing them now. It's possible this could be a flattened out mini ball, like a 69 caliber would have to be. I'm not seeing it. Well, it might be some evidence of grooves right there. Pretty faint if so, but with that cavity like that, that makes me think that's exactly what this is. It's a flattened out mini ball, 69 caliber. It's about the right amount of lead. Huh, most awesome. So I was heading over there to check out the river treasure, or river detritus, whatever that is. And I got a big old signal here, so I dug it up, and it appears to be an old license plate. No idea how old it is, no sign of a date on it, but sounded interesting. It took me about 20 minutes to get it out of the crack in the rock. And it's starting to get dark, and that wind is a little bit raw. No thunder yet though. I just found this little piece of, it's like a little lead bar. Quite heavy, solid. No sign of any holes in it or anything, but it's like a little solid lead bar. Kind of strange. So imagine that, another lock. I don't reckon, yeah, it's a Yale. I was gonna say I didn't recognize that brand, but another Yale lock. Whoa! It's kind of a weird little thing. Looks almost like a rivet, I guess, but it's got a nice design on it. And, you know, it's copper or brass. Huh, that could be an older thing. That's a weird looking bullet, isn't it? Imagine it's kind of an older one, but I mean, it's definitely not Civil War, but very strange. Oh, looky here, we got another Civil War bullet. This is again, this is a Williams cleaner, just like the other one we found. Got the stem and base missing out of it, but it's definitely 100% Civil War bullet. All right, we're doing good now. We just found a nice little round ball, kind of small caliber. Might be a 44. I think it's, I can't tell if that's fired or dropped. You can see the sprue right there where it's, yeah, it's fired. You can actually see the, where the rifling cut into the sides right there. But during the Civil War, they used pistols that fired these. Very nice. Just dug another fired pistol ball. I must have been shooting at this bank over here from across the river. Only thing I can figure. So here we have a complete Williams cleaner. Well, I don't know if that disc is in the center or not. It actually looks like it might be a little bit of it left, but yeah, so that's the top and that's the base like we found earlier. I do believe this is going to be a dropped one. About 80% sure on that with my eyes. That's pretty decent. I mean, at least we're finding some bullets. That's a good thing. So I just found this little piece of brassy something. I'm pretty sure that's going to be some type of little buckle. It almost reminds me of a weird shoe buckle. It's got some designs on it right going across there, but that's just like one of the quadrants, one of the corners. But yeah, that's a nice little find. So here's a fired bullet. That's probably a round ball that hit something hard. Probably one of the rocks on the bank there, but man, it is flattened out, isn't it? Ooh-wee. This is a weird piece of metal right here. Boy, it looks almost like a rock. It reads really high on the meter. So I'm thinking it's probably brass. I don't know if it's going to be like a side plate or something like that to a musket. I haven't ever seen any quite like that, and it's really rounded on the edges, but it's an interesting piece. Got some weight to it. I guess I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, man. That rain's coming down again. It's really dark off to the west, and it's getting kind of miserable out here. I mean, it's the middle of summer, but boy, I tell you, I'm halfway chilled. I'm going to go back up in the woods and hike back to the vehicle, I guess. Oh well, hope you enjoyed it. I'll try to get you some pictures. At least we found a few things. Wasn't a wasted day. Well, we got out of the office, so to speak, so it wasn't a wasted day. We'll see you on the next one, I hope.
She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she's got her secrets she's promised to keep, hidden in her dirt or deep in her creek. Mother Earth, she ain't saying exactly what she's saving, where it is or what it might be. Mother Earth, you are my lady, my big round baby. I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She don't care if you're dying or if you're living.